What's up, warriors? Thank you for your patience. Just give me a couple minutes. Kick back and relax, because we going to court, baby. I know a lot of the details from today's trial came out, as it always does, right? And I'm late as hell. But this is a different type of commentary. We're just going to go through court as court happened, okay? So, Joe, give me a second. All right. I think we can get started. I think we can.
God is dawn. Like and subscribe. Comment some night. Love in this light. Here's God is dawn. God is dawn. God is dawn.
Yes, peace, world, peace. Welcome or welcome back to God is Dawn Speaks. Yes. Yes, court is over. Well, I have one more day today before the weekend, but it is a lot, okay? But yeah, we're here live. It's Thursday, 15th of December, in the middle of the month, right before a whole new year. A whole new year, 2023. Who'd have thought? We are in the future. So before I get into things, let me say hi to y'all. Shamina, hey, at 5, maybe that's your time. I hope you're here. Okay, she's here. Love Warrior, yes. Wow, Wayne, what's up, King? Thank you for having my back. Who else is here? Miss Ashanti Dawson, what's going on, love? Nisi Fan 1, welcome back. So good to see y'all, man. I wish y'all could be at court with me. I really do. Isis Labs, what's going on, my Twitter friend? Okay, it's cool. Let me play. Give me the view. I appreciate it. And then come back to the replay and really listen. Okay. Oops. Chrissy Power. Yes. My sunshine right there. Oh, Stasia the artist. Happy holidays to you as well. Yeah, happy holidays, everybody. I'm not giving holiday over here, but because every day for me is holiday mentally. All right. G Washington. Okay, wait a minute. Can y'all hear me? Or she's asking if we can, if there's no sound, or is it her? Okay, let me see. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Ashanti, yes, good evening. Just here, hey. Okay. Thank you so much. Yes, for the donations. And yes, my parking got paid for the week. I appreciate it so much. Okay, let's see. I think I got everybody. Okay. I will be dropping the link. Okay, thank y'all. Yeah, thank you for the bells too. Okay, before we get into the actual trial, couple things. Let me just make sure. It was a couple things I didn't touch on yesterday that I thought were important. Actually, I didn't find out until after the live, because you guys were telling me things. Oh, Sharita's not here. Okay, Sharita was saying some things about one of the, I think he's an attorney who was doing commentary, and he was talking about transactional immunity. And I hadn't heard that in the courtroom. But yeah, when I heard him, because I did find him, actually, yeah, he just popped up on, I think he was on Academics channel. And when I was listening to him, I was like, what courtroom was he in? And I realized he's literally getting fed information, because the information he was saying was stuff that was talked about at the bench. Okay. Those private sidebars. He's definitely giving information from the sidebar, because that wasn't mentioned. Other people were talking about it as well. It wasn't just me. I'm just saying. Beautiful spirit. Where's my, there we go. Hey, love. Right back at you. Oh, okay, Shamina. Okay, hold on. I got to mute y'all because I got to rip this paper and it's going to be loud. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So, a whole new day of court. It's been 4 days for me. Some people have been there since jury selection, so it's really been 2 weeks. But for me, this is day 4 of testimony, presentation of evidence, um, and a lot of other things going on outside of the trial proceeding. I mean, I guess the pre-trial talk in the courtroom is a part of the proceeding, but I guess what I'm saying is there's things going on in the lobby, downstairs, outside where, the people come in and out. So, and I'm here observing it all, just soaking it all in, because this is never going to happen to me again. I will never be at a high profile trial like this, front row center every single day, unless somebody wants me to quit my day job and do it for them for pay, because, hey, the right number might be able to do it. I'm just saying, I could do it like that. I could do it. Okay, so Tory, it is exhausting. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I could do it. I would want to do that. Like how many high profile trials? I guess it doesn't have to be high profile, because imagine people who do it for just regular trials or so high profile, and they're already boring. So I can't even imagine. And those hard benches and ridiculous. So do I have a picture of Tory? Yeah, you know what? I did have video. Let me get a screenshot of that real quick. But yeah, so Tory was wearing a burgundy suit with a tux collar, like a black tuxedo collar. Very fashionable, very bright and loud. He looked, he seemed, I don't know, energy was low today on his part. I don't remember seeing him doing the theatrics, in the hallways and around. And his entourage seemed smaller, or either I didn't see them because I was engaged in other things. But from what I could tell, and I know one of the bloggers who had been sitting with them was in the public line today. So I don't know what that's all about, but he was a little more, seemed a little more subdued to me. He actually looked like a little boy, the way he had his head in his hand. His hand was like, his wrist was downward and his head was resting on the back of his hand. And he was like doodling. And I only saw him from the back, but he's so small framed. He's so small. I mean, but I'm just saying. Okay. What's going on, Victoria Plays? Welcome back. Yes. Thank you for returning. We like return customers over here. So court got started. We were let in at about 10:15 a.m., which is a little earlier than usual. Actually, the press was let in, and today your girl was part of the press again. Yep, front and center, press pass and all. So we were let in before the public because some of the court proceeding was happening outside of the jury, and the press is privy to this. So what was going on was, first thing first on the agenda was that Officer Diaz, who's one of the officers from Monday, I believe he was the first officer. He was ordered back on Monday at 10 a.m. He was the officer. I don't know, if you guys remember, because this is a lot. I barely remember, and I was there in person, but when he was the officer who couldn't remember much or didn't know much, or like he was kind of like a Kelsey, Officer Kelsey, we'll call him. He's ordered back Monday at 10 a.m. Okay, so that went and left. Next thing was that the judge brought up the motion in limine that the prosecution filed last night because they wanted to show an IG post that the defense says wasn't in evidence. They're saying this is to recollect memory. And the defense is saying that this is constant and every day. Like, you can't do this. But the judge read and considered the. Oh, wait, let me see something. motion in limine regarding IG post. Judge has read and considered. Okay, so he read the post, considered it, and provided. Then he decided to go ahead and allow it. He said there's precedents. There were 2 cases that he cited to say that this is not anything new here. So he allowed the IG post. So next thing on the agenda, the detective will testify that he uses IG as a tool. He will be testifying to confirm the validity of the IG post. So that happened today. The defense argued against the new witness, the detective. And the prosecution said he's on the witness list in the prosecutor's trial brief. So they said that, we did what we were supposed to do. So he was allowed to testify. And we'll get into that when that comes up. Defense wanted a state of mind exception. The judge asked for a copy of the video to evaluate it. And the judge is going to defer. So he's going to think about it. I think the video they were talking about was the IG video of Megan when she made her statement about Tory shooting her. So they want to play that. Oh, the defense is trying to, I don't know what a state of, he said that he wanted a state of mind exception with regard to that video. So maybe I'm going to have to look that up. Or if anyone knows, what is a state of mind objection? I've been meeting attorneys, y'all. I have an attorney that I want to ask her to come on because she could tell us these things. Actually, there's 2 attorneys. One of them said he really wants to come on because he wants to do legal commentary. So, anyway, they're not here now. So I just got excited for a minute thinking, oh man, I could have somebody here actually, but not today. Let's see. The defense wants to call the Detective Stogler and ask about his dismissal. If you guys remember, Detective Stogler, it was all over the blogs and news and whatever, Twitter, that this is the Detective Stogler took the initial investigation lead, interviewing Megan, and his hands are a lot of events with regard to the arrests and all of that. So he apparently was terminated from his duties as an officer because of a domestic violence charge that he caught and was convicted of, apparently. Because of this, the prosecution decided not to call him because, why would you? So he could be opened up for questioning of his character and all of that stuff. Let me see. Let me just check my notes. Yeah, so the defense wants him back. So first of all, he's not on the defense witness list. So people I saw all over social media that this officer who got fired, now he's going to be a defense witness and all of this stuff. And even if he was, okay, but the defense, it's the prosecution that decided not to bring him. You know what I'm saying? So it's whatever, but so that he's not on their list, but he wants to call him to ask him about his dismissal. He said he wanted to he's questioning his credibility. And being that he was the arresting officer, one of the arresting officers, I suppose here, the defense says he was supposedly fired, and now they're saying he's on administrative leave. He says it's important because he's the initial investigative officer. And the prosecution answered that you can't call a witness just to dirty him up. Stogler was released of duty, she said, 2 years after the incident. It was an off-duty incident, and it was 2 years after the shooting. So they're like, why would you're just calling him because you want to make him look like he's a dirty cop. And then therefore everything he touches is dirty, right? But let's see. This was a back and forth argument for a minute. Oh, dang. I ripped the corners off of this thing when I ripped it. Such is my life. Okay. So then the defense argues that the GSR, the DNA were handled by Stogler. He made statements that could be called into question. He said there are 3 separate days of incidents, and there's a witness with bruises. He said we need to find out who this officer is and what happened. Now, with regard to when he said there's a witness with bruises, Kelsey had bruises. We showed those. I mean, not we show those. They showed those pictures yesterday and again today of her injuries. And that is something to think about as far as the police having arrested them, the calls that came in and with the shots being reported, and the fighting or whatever. They get the car, there's blood everywhere. And they don't even, okay, so let's think about it. What other charges could he have picked up? Could he have picked up, some type of maybe I've heard attempted murder. I've heard things about even the assault on Kelsey. Obviously, that's something. There was no charge. Well, I guess she didn't say that he did that, but she didn't press. But I mean, there's things that happen that I guess Megan told. If she told that, he beat up Kelsey and all these things happen, where are those charges? I guess is what I'm trying to ask. There's other things that happen that aren't being charged. But then again, we know that they really only charge the things they think they can get them on, right? They don't want to make it hard for themselves to get the conviction that they're looking for. So they, I guess lighten the load on the charges just to make sure something sticks. But I don't know. It is really sketchy and sloppy at the end of the day, how they handled the whole situation. But Stogler, being the the main investigator at that time, no longer being a part of the case, not being called into court, the defense is like, no, we are not gonna just lay down for that. So they want to get that guy in court. They want to grill him. They want to make him look dirty, like the prosecution accused them of trying to do. And they wanted to have another feather in their cap with regard to causing doubt and confusion and adding another level of confusion to the situation. You know what I'm saying? So, where was I? I was going to drop the link actually. Let me do that. Okay, so I want to know y'all's thoughts. Are y'all just listening, or you want me to just keep going? Because I don't know. Do you guys like just the court reading straight through? Do you want to chat and talk about stuff in between, or wait to the end? I don't know. Let me know in the chat, but let me just keep going. Okay, so the defense argues that he got the discovery. Okay, I'm skipping. Okay. So the judge. Okay, so the judge said he will allow the questioning of the officer, but he said that the questioning must exclude that of the incident around his release of duty. Okay, so he can question him about, I guess, his processes with regard to the investigation and all of that, but he can't ask him why you were fired, what were you charged with respect to the domestic violence. Like, he can't get into that stuff. Okay, love warrior.
Hey, goddess.
Hey, yo.
Warrior chat. Goddess, we are on our own version of the real court cam. The case of Megan versus Tory Lanez, baby. Brought to you by Goddess Dawn Speaks. Let's go, baby.
Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, we're in court right now. You got to hush now.
Okay, can I ask one question and then I'm going to hush? I'm going to go mute.
No, you have to go mute. I was just saying, like, because it's funny because there have been some incidents where there's been little outbursts and things from the, from the audience, just because people cannot hold the stuff in. There's squealing, giggles, like exhaustion, like, it's
right,
just,
right.
And then
Human nature.
there's a coughing juror. I mean,
Ugh.
oh, did I even wait a minute? Hold on. Was that this morning or yesterday? I didn't see that on my notes. Wait, hold on. Because that got dealt with.
The coughing juror did?
Yeah.
You need to be masked up, spreading them cooties all through that courtroom.
Oh, I think I'm still on that part. We haven't even started court. The jury's not even in yet at this point. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oh no.
All right, I got one question before you start.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The what you were talking about, the detective or investigator that the defense wants to, question to, like you said, mussy up, dirty up, and
Detective Stogler, yes.
Yes. Didn't they have a ruling late today or something where they're gonna let him testify and they can ask?
We in court now. How you gonna get to that part if we
Oh,
ain't got
all
to
right.
that part?
Let me hush, child. I'm going on mute. I'll unmute if I have a question.
Yes. Okay. Cool. But
all right.
You jump into the end. How you gonna take us to the future?
All right.
Chill out. Get you a glass of wine.
That's why. Hey, I told the chat I'll be right back. I'm going to get a little snack and a drink, and that's why I'm turned up because of the drink, child.
It's all good. Okay. I needed that boost of energy actually, because I'm telling you, this is draining work. It really is. Because
I know it is.
Mind you, you're dealing with a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people passing, coming, going, elevators.
Yeah,
and
just the atmosphere itself in the courtroom.
Because the things that the people are dealing with in that criminal courthouse downtown is heavy stuff for a lot of the. A lot of people are dealing with some heavy stuff. There's like murder cases. There's, this is the courtroom. I think Harvey Weinstein's is in there.
Yeah. The energy is probably tense at times, the energy
is heavy. But I will say this, and I'll get back to court. But I was on my way up in the elevator, and I'm early, so these are people. I'm on the elevator with people who work there, clerks and things. It was a few people, and there was one. I won't say he was homeless or like, but I smelled the alcohol, and he looked.
Oh,
he didn't look like a regular person in society that's like contributing to society, and he looked a little needy, I'll say, but he probably had to be in court for something, I don't know, but he was very gracious. He was, Queen, can you press whatever number? And he gave us energy, and it just spread, because by the time I got to my floor, everybody when they would leave, blessings, and it was a very high vibrational elevator ride. I'll just say that.
He probably was an angel in disguise, child.
Okay, it really set me up for the day, though. That's what he was. He definitely was. So I want to welcome the people who are coming in the chat. Miss Hazel Eyes, what's going on, Mom? Aisha, yes. Okay, KDH at Conscious TV sent me. Shout out to Conscious TV and his Conscious crew. Okay, I believe he was live when I came live. I was in his chat trying to tell him stuff because they were talking about the case. Some girl on his panel, he had a full panel. I can't even get on the panel. Okay, he got 400 some people over there. I'm like, well, hell, I mean, how I can't even get in there, and you got all the people. So, but he had a lady on his panel saying that Kelsey didn't have a ponytail in court. She had a flat style, and I was like, she did have and then he said no, she had like a bun, and I was like, exactly, and she was like, no, and then he had to look it up, and I'm like, just let me come on real quick. Anyway,
and what difference does it make any damn way? Because she already talked about the bald spot in the back of her head, right? But that ain't got nothing to do with the price of tea in China. Like,
no, because she was saying she must have misunderstood something she heard. I don't know if she heard my telling it on his channel and misunderstood.
Yeah, because they've been waiting on you to come over there with the updates anyway, child.
No. Listen, girl, I'm talking about the girl that was on the panel must have misunderstood me because I mentioned the ball. No, I never mentioned the ball spot. I think I told him to read it because I had emailed him about it. But nevertheless, wherever she heard it from, whoever she heard it from said that when Tory supposedly pulled her hair, she said he pulled my ponytail. And she said she was wearing a ponytail that day. And I was trying to say that she did not say ponytail. She said hair. She didn't say he pulled my ponytail. So whoever said that, or either she misunderstood. I was just trying to clear that up. But nevertheless, shout out to King Conscious or Queen Conscious. But yeah. All right.
Okay.
Oh, Ray's here too. Ray just came from over there. Oh, he recommended. Oh, he is too sweet. Thank you, Conscious. That's why I played Megan, because I actually bit off of him. Because when I went on his channel at lunch, he played Savage. He actually played the song. I'd be scared to play them lyrics. But yeah, I was like, let me play some Megan. Anyway, let's keep going. So let's see where we're at. The jury ain't even in yet. Let me get to professional. The jury isn't in yet. Okay, we're just still talking pre-session stuff with the judge and the attorneys. So the next thing that happened is the judge allowed this Stogler, so he's allowing him. So we don't know when he's coming, and when the defense comes up with their witnesses, I'm sure he'll appear. So the prosecution brought up a concern of day 2's coughing. And they wonder, because there's a juror that has a cough. I mean, I want to emulate it for you, but that would be it would be very disgusting. But it's that cough where it's like, it has a thing behind it. And it is loud. And it seems, having listened to it over the past few days, it seems the cough seems strategic. Like the cough comes when there's important audio being played, or a question has been asked that she might or might not want to answer. And so now the rumor is, and I don't even know, but it is, hey, it is what it is. The rumor is that this is a plant. And I don't even know if that's, can you really plant a juror? You can't plant a juror.
That's crazy though.
But listen, you can plant a juror if everyone is involved. Like if everyone is involved in the play, then yeah, they can definitely cast a plant, right? Okay, go ahead.
Yes, and he could be a super fan or something that got snuck on there and favoring, one of the defendants.
That's what I'm saying. But how do you sneak somebody into a criminal court jury? Because that process is not like, you're not pulling no favors typically. Passing somebody a bill to say, like, can you let my dude slide in? Because everything is already in a database. These things are digitally composed. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like it's not. So
it has been done. Remember R. Kelly's first trial, and of course things are way more.
And that is my point. I said exactly that. Unless everyone is in on the play,
right?
You know what I'm saying? If everyone's in on it, then yeah, it's easy to do, especially the judge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like you said, though, also with technology, it's a lot harder than it was in 2008, too.
Hello. And I'm definitely not saying that this is the case with this judge and this, I'm not saying that, but okay.
But he could be a lone wolf supporter, and two, that's just a crazy super fan that somehow, of course, this is just surmising and we're discussing it, but it is kind of weird if the cough is so loud that it's disrupting testimony. Like, that's weird. That's weird.
It is
but
weird.
Anyway.
Or he could just be a sick old man. Or a sick man. I'll just say that.
Okay.
Welcome, Mary. Hello. Let's see. Yeah, I'm wearing my mask. Okay. If you see any picture of me, because I did snap a picture with shout out to Official King Payne. He's a YouTuber, and he was he took a picture of us. I don't know where that picture is or we'll end up, but I have a mask on and sunglasses. Okay, so question. Okay, Ray all day, welcome. Do you have notes on officer interviewing Meg in the ER? The officer interviewing Meg, let's see, looking for info about when officer first addressed the shooting with Meg and if the ER doc told the officer. I don't know that they've gotten into that yet. That's why Stogler is being called up, because he's the one who handled all that stuff. But it'll get there. I don't know yet. Let's go through the notes. Because I was just in the motion, I'm not really remembering a lot of the stuff. So this is, me going through it again with you. Okay, so the coughing, with regard to the coughing, the prosecution wondered if it's been a distraction to other jurors. And because I believe one of the jurors brought it up to someone. So the judge said he's going to ask the deputies to look into it or something to that effect. The prosecution then said that they have a new text message from Kelsey to Megan asking if she should go to urgent care because she wonders if her heart murmur is being triggered. She's in pain. She said, I don't know if it's being triggered. She was in pain, and there she described some of the different pain areas. I think her back, maybe her head. She said in this text, not sure if it was from when Tory pulled me by my hair. So she said in the text. They were advised by the victim in this case, this is attorney, so that would be Meg's attorney, of this text. And basically they said, had Kelsey testified how they anticipated, they would have dismissed it as hearsay or, but they said that it's as relevant as ever now. And it's a crucial piece of evidence for the jury. They were arguing that it doesn't shift the defense in any way, that, Kelsey will testify through the lunch hour. So basically saying like, we have time to do this, but by them saying it won't shift the defense in any way, they are basically saying this is not something different from what was said, but this is just proving it because it's in a text message. Okay, I didn't even know I lost you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Quick comment on when they found that new text message from Kelsey and her referencing her hair. Those little subtleties, they corroborate the insinuation that Tory beat her ass. Those little things,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, come on now. I want to answer Jay. Welcome, Jay. Yes. When the coughing happens, is she asked to repeat herself? No. The coughing happens, and it just happens. I think what it is the judge and the lawyers, they're so used to this courtroom environment, and I'm pretty sure we're human beings, right? I thought I heard her fart. Seriously, I was like, Lord, if I need to double mask up because this is just crazy. I mean, I'm just saying, like the courtroom, mind you, this is why I drink a little bit of water, but I ain't eating nothing in the morning. You can forget that because you can't leave the court. He says if you leave the courtroom, you can't come back in until the next break is over. I'm definitely not trying to eat nothing. These people are eating breakfast burritos and all types of shit. You got to sit in that courtroom for like 2 hours. You can't go to the bathroom. You just got to sit there squunched up with these people on a hard bench. So the last thing you need is a gurgling or is a bubbly stomach. You know what I'm saying? But things are happening in this courtroom. And I think that the judge and the attorneys are so used to it that they don't even probably hear it really. I think that they're kind of immune to it, so. Right.
But the high profile nature of this case, every little instance of anything is going to be a bigger deal than normal too, right?
Right. And because somebody should not have had to bring that up. They should have caught that earlier on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the defense argues that he got the discovery at 7 a.m. and he hasn't had time to evaluate it. And now he's like, and now it's just going to be in front of the jury. He's like, they are in violation of the discovery code and they've been doing it all along. He was hot. He said the DA is doing this every day. This is late discovery that they've always had. What did he say? That they've always. Where's the other word at? Okay.
He just mad because it don't look good on her. This is typical that they do find different things. They were not withholding it. They weren't, breaking the Brady rule or none of that 305 evidence, all that crap. He just mad because, it doesn't look good for his client. Tory.
Well, yeah, he's mad. He's putting on his, I'm not putting up with this. He's doing his client. He's earning his dough. Okay. I know. I think I stopped right there because the prosecution interrupted. I think they because this is not, mind you, like I said, the jury's not in yet. This is not yet the court actual proceeding. So they're not having to object or anything. They're just arguing. So the prosecution cut him off. That's why I don't have no word to finish the sentence. As a prosecution said, she did talk about being assaulted by the defendant. And the defense argues the text is new discovery because it says the text says Tory dragged her out of the car by her hair. Mm-hmm. This is not what what was presented yesterday.
Right.
So, okay. So that was that. So that text message, the judge is going to defer and decide. The witness. So we have an out of order witness. They're letting the court know. The jury is entered now, and they're seated. And the witness comes in and is sworn in. The witness is Dr. Lee Haruno. He is the orthopedic surgeon that worked on Megan Pete. Okay. So they asked. The prosecution is up. The woman is still up here. Here's the prosecution. Did y'all see them? Let me put them up here. You can't see her face, but this is them.
So that's the prosecution. That's the first time I saw them. Thank you for that picture.
Yeah, they're on Twitter, and I have their names written down, but not on these notes. But we got another day to get that together. But yeah, this is them. This is the defense. The three of them, because the one in
they look like they are from the mafia.
The one in the very back, he sits behind, like in the lesser, like they're not little, but the people, the other attorneys that just do other stuff. I guess they're help with things. They're just sitting behind the lawyers. So that one in the back, though, they do look very intimidating. Look at his eyes. The one on the left is the lead attorney in the case, not the bigger one on the right, but so that would be, if we're looking at the video, that would be our right. The one on the right, the smaller one. Okay. Yeah, he's the lead. So when I'm talking about, the defense said this, defense said that, that's him. And when I'm saying the lead attorney for the prosecution right now is the female one. It's the lady in the front. I think she has a blonde streak in the front. She's an Asian lady. I'm just saying it so you can know what she looks like or who she is.
Karen Tar, something like that. She got a 2-letter last name. Something weird.
T-A, Ta. T-A. Okay. It's T-A. Yeah, thank you. Yes. So that's why this picture's, they're on there now. So I got all the attorneys and the people. Need the judge over here in the little left corner. Okay, let's get back to it. Shamina. Oh, Shamina said, you and Miss Della sounds alike. You think so? Okay, let's go. Okay, so they asked him, the doctor, how are you employed? He said he's the chief resident of orthopedics at Cedars-Sinai Hospital. He explained surgery, what it is. He also gave his credentials, his background, his education, all of that. So they asked, July 12, 2020, were you a resident at Cedars? He said yes. Did you treat Megan Pete. Yes. She was admitted. So he explained she was admitted, had a clinical exam, imaging or x-rays. The prosecution enters x-rays in the evidence. They put the x-ray of Megan's left foot up on the screen. It says metallic foreign bodies on the left side. So it has like these little highlighted spots to show it shows the, which of course you guys know what x-rays are. So they showed through the x-rays, the metallic foreign bodies on the left side, outside of the heel bone. And the second x-ray was entered. Same foot, different view, a side angle. The third x-ray was the same foot, top view. And then there were 2 x-rays following for the right foot. The right foot had a lesser injury, but there were 2 views of the metallic foreign bodies just above the Achilles tendon on her right foot. So those were where her injuries took place. So
basically you could see the bullet fragments from the x-ray.
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome back, beautiful spirit. You tap back in. Okay. All right. So the doctor explained that he planned for a debriefment when she was there at the hospital with him. A debriefment, which is cleaning, repairing, and potentially removing bullet fragments. He discussed leaving them in, but it would possibly cause an infection. He said the location is pretty much skin and bone. He said it would cause persistent pain if it wasn't removed. He strongly recommended surgery, required anesthesia for the procedure. I just thought about something. Wasn't he the surgeon that she disclosed what actually happened to after lying to the first doctor that did the intake?
I don't know. I don't know that.
Yeah, that is what supposed to be the story. She lied to the first doctor, but then the actual surgeon, when they explained she might be having surgery, she told the truth about what actually happened.
Yeah, she got scared because, your health of your foot. So she told the truth to the surgeon. That makes sense. I mean, I don't know, like you said, but it makes sense that she better tell the truth.
But I'm just thinking about it, because if that's the case, why wouldn't they question him about what she said to him?
Oh.
There was no questioning about it. And then also something I forgot to mention yesterday, there was no mention of the dance bitch yesterday, after it was like everything at first. But anyway, it did get brought up today. So let me just keep going. So let's see. She strongly recommended surgery, required anesthesia for the procedure, positioned her on the operating room table when she came for the surgery, prepped and draped her in standard fashion, he said. Debridement and irrigation and surgery on both lower extremities simultaneously, but the right. So they asked, which did you do first? And he said, well, we did it simultaneously, but we started with the right foot. He said that the injury on the right foot is 1.5 centimeters over the Achilles tendon. And they flushed the wound, they closed it, left with stitches. And the right foot injury, let's see. I'm sorry, the left foot injury is 4 by 4 centimeters. And they removed large metal fragments, more extensive and bigger wound on the left side. Surgery lasted about an hour. She was missing a top layer of skin on her left foot, so they applied nylon stitches, which on the skin of the left foot, which required a second trip to the office. Those nylon stitches, because they have to remove them. He said there is permanent scarring on both feet, and she was admitted to the hospital after the surgery, given a room in the surgical ward until discharge. She was not outpatient. She spent the night. So they asked him, how many of these type of procedures have you done in the past? He said he's done dozens. The prosecutor enters the doctor's report. It's called an operative report. He explained that there's a doctor. I couldn't understand if he said Dr. Little or Dr. Blue, because one time it sounded like Little, and then the next time it Blue. So I was like, okay, well, I'll go with Little. But so this person proofread, edited, and co-signed his report. They discussed smaller shrapnel fragments being left in her feet. He said more damage could have been caused by going in to remove it. So that was that for the prosecutors at that moment. The defense came up for the cross exam next. Let me look at the chat real quick. Reckless Logic, hey, welcome. Let's see, Ray. It's obvious Tory shot her in the feet to injure her career since she was talking bad about his. Ooh, I didn't even think about that. You know what? That is a good freaking point. It really is. Wow. That makes it, because when you think about it, the fighting that the way it sounds just like complete chaos, like all of them fighting each other for different reasons. Him opening up that whole thing about him and Megan to get the heat off him and make them fight, have them mad at each other, but her dissing his career, being that he was supposedly trying to being courted or whatever for another deal, for some big deal. So for him, and he's supposedly independent at this point, and he doesn't have, and people on social media, I don't know that this is true because I don't know him as an artist like that, but people are saying that he's been blackballed because of this. So
I agree. And they've also said that he's a plant too.
That he's a plant, exactly.
Yeah, because an independent artist doesn't get all that kind of publicity and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and moves around all them industry parties like that as quickly as he does. So I think
I hope the mods are armed tonight. Because yeah, we got cocks in the building. Okay. So damn, this girl has to live the rest of her life with shrapnel in her feet. Yep. And they're scarred too. You know what I'm saying? That's not, nobody should have to be dealing with that because somebody just lost their mind for a minute. So let me block this part. That's so perceptive. Is that sarcasm, or because I really didn't think about that. I really didn't think about the fact that he was so mad that when she got out the car, she probably said some real devious shit to his ass after when she got out that car. She probably said some nasty stuff to him, and he reacted the way he did, pointing at her feet, and said, "Dance, bitch." She said he said this. Of course, everyone that was denied today, but we'll get there. Not sarcasm, okay. I had to check because it does seem like a simple concept or idea. Yeah, of course he would shoot at her feet because she just basically made him seem like he was a no talent, nothing, and she needs her feet. You know what I'm saying? But without her feet,
yeah, she can't. She can't twerk. She got some strong knees and strong feet to twerk. He was trying to shoot her feet because he wanted to make her short like he is.
Trying to cut her down. Wow. Okay. So the defense is up now. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I guess it was asked because it says did not speak with Megan that night. I guess he did ask if you spoke to her. He said he did not speak with Megan that night. He said removal of a bullet and fragments are both called fragments because the defense wanted to know if a bullet is extracted versus a fragment. When you do your reporting, do you still call it bullet fragments, or do you call it a bullet? And or I guess he was trying to say, are you sure that the fragments are bullet? Or do you? But anyway, the doctor said they do call all of it fragments. They call them fragments, both of them. Even though he did mention something about like, well, if a bullet is whole and we retrieve it, then it's a bullet, but we would still probably refer to it as fragment. So he said there was no nerve damage detected, and then he was excused. So that was it on the doctor. Any thoughts on the doctor before we move on?
Nice, quick, to the point. He's an accomplished surgeon. There can be no discrediting of that. And finally, there should be no chatter about was she shot. All that should stop. Okay, that's it. She was shot. She still has fragments, shrapnel, whatever you want to call, in her feet, which at some point later can move. My uncle had shrapnel in his chest, and there was pieces that they could not take out, and that can dislodge through an injury, accident, or just your body, weight gain, whatever. So it is a serious concern for the future, because that her feet, like you said, those are her money makers, them and her knees, all that.
Absolutely.
So all that chatter about was it glass? No, she was shot, and you had the surgeon up there that did the procedure. So that's the end of that.
That's that on that. I don't ever want to see again that she stepped on glass. I do not want to see again that she wasn't shot. This has been proven, and those theories have been debunked. Okay, so go cry somewhere, but admit the truth next time you get somebody to comment. Okay, let's see. What are y'all talking about? Tory has some narc tendency, narcissist. Yeah. He can't take accountability for anything, and he's been violent with multiple people for small offenses. Small offenses. That's the key thing too, because people keep saying, "Well, what would motivate him to do that?" Well, he don't need motivation. Did you see what he did to August Alsina over not getting dapped up? I mean, come on, left that man bloody and looked like burned, because there was a circle wound on his. I think it was on his hand. It looked like somebody put a blunt out on his hand. And it was just low enough, right at Tory's height. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you're right, Ray. You are absolutely right. Yes, the surgeon definitely sounded credible. He was credible. He is credible, definitely. When you hear all his credentials and all that, the stenographer kept having to ask him to slow down, because I'm not, anybody Asian listening to this, please know that I'm not like, what are you, prejudiced, or like, I'm just painting the picture, but he is an Asian doctor. So I just wanted to say that. But he talked really fast. So the stenographer kept having to say, "Can you slow down, please?" And she's never had to say that to anybody. So it was kind of like, and he kind of giggled, like he was excited too. He got to get a pointer so he could point at the screen. He's like, "Oh," he kind of made everybody laugh too, because he was too excited. But he's like, I'm back in middle school. I'm like, you were up with a pointer when you were in middle school? Oh, wow. Okay, so let's see. If you remember, we were on Twitter talking to someone who tried to deny her medical records. They silent today? Oh, yeah, you were my Twitter friend too. Yes, absolutely. All the Twitter people probably silent. And there are people who are actually swaying more to neutral rather than just going rah-rah Tory. They're like more neutral now, like, well, yeah, it does kind of look like he did, So that's happening at the courthouse with some of the people. Because you can't deny this stuff. The things that what's more telling are the things that they're saying she said that just she's now denying, because we know those things she said were the true things. So, and thankfully they've recorded that. So let's see. Oh yeah, so glad they showed the x-rays. Definitely that was a win for the prosecution as far as that goes. And that could at least lead to probably that third charge that he got, that third felony about the gross negligence. So
that's the one I want him to get, so he can get deported. That would be the biggest payoff ever.
Yeah.
Because that would be so, oh God, it would be awesome. But anyway.
Okay, so Oops. They ain't silent. Them fools got on my nerves on that. Yeah, they're probably worse than ever because when the people get scared, they really go into they go on demon time real fast. So let's see. So the witness was excused. The prosecution then asked for a quick sidebar before the next witness. Kelsey enters and takes the stand. Her lawyer joins the sidebar. Her husband, now I know I didn't know it was her husband until the testimony, but her husband is with her. Today he had on a big gold chain with a big old emblem. I wanted to look at and see if it said 1501 because it looked like it said it was like one of those label wrapper chains. You know what I'm saying? It was a big thick gold chain with a with an emblem.
I bet it was a 1501 chain. I
it
bet you
was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do some research. And so when I see him,
you got tomorrow, that picture, Goddess. You know.
Oh, what picture? I know. I just downloaded that too.
Okay, cool.
Let me put that up here real quick. I mean, put that in my queue. So remind me. So don't let me leave off of here without going to that.
Yeah, because that's very interesting there.
Yeah, that's important. Okay. It's not letting me upload it because I have too many pictures. Give me a second.
I find it interesting how you were saying all these loud Tory supporters that have been saying she ain't shot, she alive, she this, she that, have had to quiet down as truth hit them in the face, and the reality that this narrative they've championed for whatever their reasons were. A lot of them spoke so full of hatred towards Megan, calling her out of her name, making fun of her, hating on her, all because she was shot by this leprechaun, and it was unfair because even if they weren't stars, if a man, got upset or a woman enough to pull out a gun and shoot you anywhere else in America, they would have arrested they behind that night, and they may have gotten bond, but he got a lot of leeway because of his stardom.
Definitely. But things don't, people are in the chat talking about August better file, get on this gravy train right here. Okay, so
I agree.
Yeah, same. Prosecution. Okay, so let's see. Kelsey's there. Her dude comes in. So the judge first reminds Kelsey that she's still under oath, and then the prosecution stands up to the, faces her, and they repeat that same sentiment. They remind her, excuse me, they remind her of the use immunity, which is not a full immunity, and it does not protect people from perjury. It does not protect you from perjury. So, you better get it together.
I'm so glad you made that straight, because a lot of people were talking about she was immune, immunity. They can't prosecute her or this or that. Yes, they can.
Yeah, they definitely can. And they can, I think they can even revoke the immunity and if it comes down to it, and if they feel they have enough, charge her ass, which I don't think is going to happen. But I do want to say at this point, this is where Sharita yesterday was bringing up transactional immunity, which I know we were talking about it today. Somebody told me what it is. I'm not sure if it's like a quid pro quo type of thing, but nevertheless, Sharita yesterday was asking me about I think they said Indian. I think they were saying that he was an Indian blogger or attorney who was on academic.
Lawyer for something.
Yeah.
Lawyers for something.
So his name is Mo. So Mohammed, short for Mohammed. And he is, so he is at court. He was sitting with Tory's family the other day. So it's safe to say that he's pretty much on the payroll. So
he's sitting with Tory's family.
He sat with them on. I'm trying to think which it was. It wasn't. I don't think it was the day Megan was there, but one day these past couple of days he was with the family. I mean, normally because if he can't get he doesn't have a approved press pass. So
Right.
press passes typically they say have to be approved like 3 weeks before trial.
Right.
So he doesn't have one, like I don't have one, and we are on like a standby. And so he doesn't, he's somebody, I think he came early one time, but he's like strolls in late because I guess he feels like he's gonna.
He's that. He thinks he's all that and that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does. Yeah, exactly. So somehow he ended up sitting with Tory's family, and I was like, "Damn, he's sitting with the family now." So just like the other blogger, the mob radio lady, but she didn't sit with them today, which I thought was interesting.
What?
She was in the public line today, but
she moved from the family to not the press, but public.
No, because she, like I said, you have to have your press pre-approved. So I'm sure she probably didn't think or maybe she didn't know. I don't know.
That's interesting. So she obviously, somebody on Tory's PR team must have said something. I'm just surmising. I'm just thinking out loud here. But she might not have been a good look for, because she was in a lot of pictures up next to him outside the court and this and that. And I think we had already discussed, and you've had pictures, like she looked like she was getting ready to go to the club, not the court.
Right.
And so.
Yeah. Well, I ain't going to get into all that.
But I'm just saying, just like his son is, and that's strategic, his son being there with him out. So they just might want to be very cautious of who they, who look. That's all I'm saying. For
sure. Now, keep talking real quick because I'm just trying to get a screenshot of today's outside craziness.
Yeah, I'll talk about it because I can. But chat warriors, y'all seen the pictures, and we're not doing any kind of hating on women because I'm not made like that. But it was inappropriate dressed to be on such a high profile type of case. There's going to be a lot of paparazzi and out front. So there is a certain professional decorum, even if you just have on a button-up shirt and a pair some dress pants. You don't have to wear a suit or whatever. It's just a certain decorum that's usually required at court. And I'm just being real. 6-inch, mini skirts, is just not with string up, heels to your knee. That's not what we wear to court. Sorry, it's just not a good look. And I would not be surprised if something wasn't said that, because interestingly enough, I listened to her a little bit today, just a little bit, and she wasn't all rah, rah, rah. But now that I'm thinking about it, she wasn't all rah, rah, rah.
Somebody in the chat said that the Mo guy didn't come on today. I think this is what they said. They didn't see anything much from him today. He looked real tired and drained this morning, child. Like something like, he went through something.
He looked like he be going through something anyway.
That ain't my business.
I wonder, is he a full-fledged attorney, or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get that, but he could be, I don't know if he's not a California attorney. I know he said that himself. And I know that he is full of shit. So,
and you met King Payne, and who was it? Didn't you meet another blogger too?
Dennis Byron. I mean,
no, the other ones, the King Street.
Oh yeah, Street TV. Shout out to Alex at Street TV. Alex at Street TV. Yeah, he's cool. Yeah, he helped me out with the seating. I be trying to pad the line so I can sit exactly where I know I need to be sitting. I don't try to pad it, but if I need to, I do. It's worked out though for me. I'm just saying. So shout out to him for sitting in where I asked him to sit. Get people to sit certain places and whatnot. Like
he did a lot of coverage on God, Migos.
Serene said he's an employment lawyer. He's an employment lawyer? Interesting.
Oh,
Okay, I got the screenshot, y'all. I'm just uploading it right
yay.
now. So this is not just talk because we just talking. I'm literally, Priscilla's helping me to fill this moment so I can get this up here. Everything is for a reason. Continue, ma'am. I'm not done
Yeah,
yet.
I didn't know. I didn't know that that Kelsey was married, but um to be married to 1501, that record label that is in a serious has been in a serious lawsuit with Megan, and she's married to one of the top execs. Oh, that's
I
just
think I might need to watermark this pic. This is a good little pic that I got. Hold on.
hmm
Show y'all right now. I might need
and
to put a watermark on this though.
that's kind of, I don't know. I don't know that conflict of interest is the right term, but she's married to the exec that works with Carl Crawford. Y'all know that's who owns 1501. And in fact, I didn't see it today, but I think he went online and had something to say about the trial, hating on Tory and Megan. Something about good for them. Like, you know, that's kind of like real haterish,
Okay.
to be
Well,
an
we'll
owner of a
get to
record
that because
company.
I got these tweets. So we'll talk about the tweet. We'll talk about that after the court session.
Oh,
We
okay.
are in court, but I got that picture up there.
Oh,
His son actually looked at me. I guess
he
I didn't call nobody.
is so cute.
I was not yelling or anything. Just don't think that. He was just looking around. I just happened to catch him. So
He's so cute. His son is really cute.
he is cute, definitely. He looks like him in the face. Like if you really, because at first I was like, yeah, I really look like him. But if you look at him, he definitely looks like him. And
Mm-hmm.
Tori's father, which we think it's his father. Somebody else said he lost both his parents. So if anyone knows whether or not he just lost his mom or both, because there's
No, his dad. I don't know, because I know his dad. Oh, I didn't know. I know Tory looks just like his dad. I've seen pictures of his dad. If he passed,
okay, so because there is a gentleman there who I assume was his father because they look just alike. The guy has a big gray beard. I told y'all about him. He
right.
dresses like Tory actually. And they have the same dangling earring in their left ear.
Oh yeah,
They're
I remember you talking about that. Yeah.
yeah. So they all look alike. I mean, there's strong genes. Okay, so here's the picture. Let's keep going now. So like I said, they have talked to her about use immunity, and it's not full. She don't have full immunity. Okay, and she definitely can get arrested for perjury. So they say first thing they ask her is, do you agree Megan was shot? And she said her team told me she stepped on glass. That's what she said.
See, that's some internal shit that she still has with Megan. Just her saying that. She has some deep rooted issues with Megan. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet.
That was definitely discussed today in the courtroom, actually. They said you saw her limp to the driveway. So you didn't see who shot her? She said no. Who shot her? I don't know. You wanted to plead a fifth. Why? So not to incriminate myself. Incriminate how? For anything I was untruthful about. What are you not being truthful about? The events of the night? What about these events? I was too drunk to remember. You don't want to be here. That's why you wanted to plead the fifth. No, I don't want to be here. Were you harassed on social media and the public and everywhere about, and that's why you don't want to that you want to plead the fifth? She said there are many reasons.
She actually said that in case she said it untrue, something wasn't true. She actually said that.
Yeah. She said, I don't want to incriminate myself because wait.
One of the first things she said.
I gotta look back now.
I'm sorry. I just can't believe she said that.
Okay. I was too drunk. You don't want to be here. No, I want to be here.
Before that.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. She said intimidate because she didn't want. Yeah, intimidate how? Incriminate how? for anything I was untruthful about. What are
Wow.
what are you not being truthful about? The events of the night. And she's talking about that interview, I think, that they did with her,
Right.
as
Okay.
well as probably today. I don't know. But she was just very vague in general about when being untruthful, when exactly. But yeah,
Okay.
she did say for being untruthful about events. What event?
That's
Yeah.
that is
She's
amazing.
just
That's whew,
she's just telling people she can't be believed. She's just a trash witness.
absolutely.
Moesha Stan account. Welcome. Tory lies so much. Is that really his kid? I think it is. But I don't know if it is. But I'm going to say that this kid, if it is his, is probably just meeting him. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. All right. Sharita said, Heifer, you was the team. You was the team. Okay. So this is the interesting thing. She finally says to the prosecutor, I told the judge earlier the reasons why. The judge in his chambers. So her lawyer and the judge earlier before court, before anybody else came into court, they were in with the judge and she told him everything, apparently. So
But that's not testimony, and you can't get around them damn questions.
It's not. But the thing is the judge is sitting there with the information. It's just interesting to me how that works. That's crazy. So let's see. She denied it was because she didn't want to be in the limelight. Doesn't remember what she said in September. She said Meg did accuse her of taking hush money and that was part of the fallout. The fact that Megan accused her of taking hush money. At that point, Kelsey's lawyer asked the judge. Okay, let me say this. Kelsey's lawyer is sitting in the back row of lawyers. Like I had pointed out that third lawyer to y'all and said he was sitting behind the other lawyers. Well, Kelsey's lawyer is sitting in that row in the back. And he's like very old. Like I swear, I don't even, because I'm literally sitting behind these people. I'm sitting right behind the husband today, sitting right behind this lawyer, Kelsey's lawyer. And I'm like, man, if somebody sneezes near this guy, he might just blow away into dust. I'm saying, like, he walks like he just climbed out the crypt. I'm just saying. All right. So where am I? Let me just find my place. Okay. So yeah, she says that the accusation of her taking money is the part of the fallout. So at this point, Kelsey's lawyer asked the judge if he can approach the bench. Now, mind you, Kelsey's lawyer, he's not even technically, I don't know, because I don't usually see a lawyer in there with the defendant. With the witness when they're testifying, like right there. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I'm not in court all the time like that. But he has his nerve to interrupt this and ask the judge if he could come up there. And the judge gave him a hard no.
Come up where? By Kelsey?
To the judge's bench. He wanted to go talk to the judge.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, and he gave him a hard no and said, proceed. It was so funny. It was a diss, man. Okay. So the prosecution continued. Do you recall Megan's Instagram statement, which is that video you guys remember that she came out and accused Tory for the first time? That was when she said, Tory shot me, that one video. So she said, yes, but I don't. They said, do you recall it? She said, yes, but I don't remember it. Okay. So they say, do you recall going over the statement with us word for word? And she said, no, I don't remember. So the attorneys approached the bench for a sidebar at this point. Prosecution shows the Instagram post. So that was why, because they were arguing about this Instagram post. So eventually, when that sidebar ended, they get back to business, showing the Instagram post by Megan Thee Stallion. And Kelsey recognizes the post. Doesn't remember reading it to prosecution in September. Doesn't recall telling them it caused her to be harassed. So at this point, I'm wondering, did she get taken over by aliens? I mean, did you sell your soul and that it's just like you in an empty body at this point? Because
Yeah, come on. You got harassed, and something that you got harassed from, you're not going to remember. That is such BS.
that's crazy. All right, so they show the IG post by Kelsey Nicole in 2020. And the post said, I want to clear up the rumors that I shot Meg. I didn't shoot her, but I was there. And she said the prosecution asked her, wasn't Megan upset about this post because you didn't protect her? She said, I don't know. They say, so was it or was it not one of the reasons for your fallout? She said it was already weird. And she said she believed that Megan should be held accountable for spreading false information about her. So yeah, it sounds like she's trying to get her back or something.
Yep, it's bad blood there, I'm telling you.
They said you also said Tory needed to be held accountable. She was like, I don't know. Kelsey says she lied due to pressure, because they keep asking her, like, well, why are you, why did you lie to us then if you are saying that you didn't tell us the truth in September? She said because of pressure. Now this kind of was like, huh? From who? So they asked her if Quan, Tory's driver that night / bodyguard, got her to meet with Tory after the shooting. She said, I don't remember. They asked her if Quan was present when they met up. She said, I don't know. They told her she cried throughout the entire interview in September. And so they were asking her, like, well, why were you upset? She was like, it was just a lot going on. It was a lot. It was, just triggering. And so then they said prosecution disclosed her husband and attorneys were present and there were no threats to arrest her during the interview. Right. And she agreed, and that's how we were like, husband. Well, I was like, husband. But she said, I'm a private person and I'd just rather not be here. And she said, well, why did you feel pressure to lie in the September interview? And she said, a lot of reasons. She said the prosecution says she told them in September, I have nothing to hide and I just want to be free. So I want to basically tell the truth. And she said, I don't remember. Kelsey complained to the judge. Let me see. Kelsey complained to the judge. Can't read this word. Oh, okay. Kelsey complained to the judge about not remembering because Kelsey complained to the judge something about not remembering. The judge told her to say she didn't remember. Oh, yeah, because she was like, well, I can't answer questions that I don't remember. You keep asking me, and I keep telling you I don't remember. So she looks to the judge. She keeps looking to the judge, like the judge is her daddy. And
like he can save her from the testimony.
And complaining to him. So, but the judge told her to just say you don't remember. If that's what it is, that's what it is. So he's just like, just keep going. So the prosecution said Kelsey doesn't want to answer when asked about. Did she say that or ask? She asked Kelsey that she doesn't want to answer when she's asked about Tory bribing her. And they say yesterday that Kelsey claimed Tory offered $1 million not to say anything. And she was like, I don't remember. But she didn't say, what she said was that she agreed that he did offer, but she said it wasn't worded like that. Like he was going to pay her off type of thing. She said it wasn't worded that way. I remember that. They say she claimed you.
What does that mean? Just because it wasn't worded like that, it still was offered. It still was out there, and I believe that you took it by the way you acted. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, because I think she was desperate for money at the time. And there was also a mention yesterday about Sean Holly, who I learned today is still on his team. She's just not doing the trial work. She is working on a football player's R word case right now, but technically she's still a part of his team. And Sean Holly, if you guys don't know, she's a dynamic black woman, black woman, and she's an entertainment attorney, and she's represented the likes of all the stars. I'm just gonna say because I don't remember right now in my mind, but do you know who she is, right?
Oh
Sean?
yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So there was a mention that Sean told Tory to ask in that way, helped him word how to ask Kelsey what he can do. So that's what he would ask. What do you need, or what do you want, or what can I do? I think was how it was termed. What can I do? Just an open door to put a $sign on it, to give me a number. And I think she did it, especially with Megan cutting her off like that. She has nobody.
Right, like you had already reported on. She said to Megan, "What am I going to do now?" She was her assistant.
Yep. Okay, so then okay, she said she claimed she didn't know how okay, so she did claim she didn't know how Megan got shot. She didn't remember, she didn't see it, she heard it, she didn't see it. She claimed, okay, they told her, you claim you and Megan fell out because Megan backdoored you, and she said yes. And that's when she perked up and got all strong. Yes, and she was disloyal. I was betrayed. So they noticed in September that it was Tory over and over again that shot. She said, I don't remember. Okay, so now the defense is up with their cross-examination. Let's put their picture up. This is who's doing the questioning here. So this guy, the one on the right, he's up. He's asking about immunity. He asked her, if you understood that you are having this immunity agreement. She confirmed it and asked her about it, asked her about invoking her Fifth Amendment rights. She confirmed that. She did, try to do that. Confirmed. She explained why to the judge in chambers, and she said she may be incriminating herself. And he asked her why, like, why would you talk to the judge like in the chamber? She said she may be incriminating herself.
I know that didn't go past the jury's head. I know that the jurors wondered about that. You to say something like that you spoke in the judge's chambers about why you didn't. I know that didn't go past. The jury paid attention to that. Is what I'm saying.
And the judge should also have a recording of that meeting that he should give to the jury. Here you go. I got all the answers right here. But let's see. So so she didn't want to incriminate herself. They asked her what incriminating, what does that mean to you? She asked for more definition. I think and they asked her if she knew she could be charged for perjury. She wants to ask her lawyer at this point, but the judge told him to keep going. So testimony resumes with the cross-exam, or maybe she did speak to her lawyer. I just didn't put she spoke to her lawyer, but it says testimony resumes. Do you understand that if you perjure yourself, you can be prosecuted? She said, if I lie, yes. And they said, they asked if she understood use immunity. They asked her if she ever met with him or his team, him, the lawyer meaning, and his team. She said no. He asked if she talked to Tory after she got her stuff from him the day after the incident. She said no. And see, that kind of cleared something up for me, because I wasn't clear about when she got her stuff, because she said Megan's team got her out back to Texas pretty much overnight. Like, so I guess obviously right before she left, she got her stuff from him. I'll be curious to know the conversation about her getting her stuff, because did she contact them saying like, well, they're sending me back to Houston, so I need my stuff? Or was he still hitting her up and it just happened to be like, I have y'all stuff? I don't know, but I would be asking these questions. Let's see. So then they okay, so she says no, that she's never met with him and his team. She didn't talk to Tory from that last time when she got her stuff from him. She did not. They said that you've had LA lawyers prior to this one that you have now. She said yes. And they asked who was present at that September meeting with her. She said she was there with her spouse and the DA, and there was another detective there, and asked her to they asked her about Detective Stogler, who was the detective we talked about earlier, the one that with the who's now no longer, or maybe a one on administrative leave, but he's not on the case anymore, but he handled the initial investigation. Okay, so Detective Stogler, they asked they asked her about Detective Stogler, and she said, I don't remember, but I've seen his name. She said, she's seen his name like on paperwork, I guess. So he said in September of 2022, there was a discussion about GSR on your hand, or gunshot residue. And she said, she did a long and she said yes. And then
that is so telling. Like, when they asked her about, did you understand immunity and stuff, like, yeah, if I lie, yeah, that's all you've been doing, evading, long pauses, all that. She's so horrible that I believe she was coached to do just what she's doing. Like, she played this role to the T. This is exactly what they wanted her to do, to be not committed to any, one story or another. Can't remember this, but you can remember, other details, but you can't remember this and that. It's just crazy.
And P. Edward, welcome to the channel, is right. Because I did make a note of this. I wasn't going to say it till later because it doesn't come up yet about when she's like, she was like yelling at the defense lady. I mean, at the prosecution at one, not yelling, but she was like real firm in her tone with her, but she definitely wasn't like that with the defense at all.
So there's going to be some jurors that aren't going to take kindly to that character if she was being, quote, well, I don't know if she was being assertive or if she was being like catty, like, nasty. What would you say?
She was pushing back, like.
Oh, okay.
And being just real, she was just nasty to me, in my opinion. I thought it was nasty how she responded, but she definitely wasn't like that with the defense at all. Not at all. She was a little kitty cat. Okay, let's see. Okay, so when she went, he clarified the question, and then she said yes. And then he said, were you aware that you weren't supposed to discuss the case? She said yes. You knew there was talk that you were the shooter. She said, he asked, has his client, Tory, has my client threatened you? She said, no. Did my client pay you? Oh my God, was this no? Loud and clear, honey. She was like, no. And I want that to be very clear. Like, she is pissed about the fact that people think she took hush money. I'm telling you.
That's interesting.
But the way she answered that is the way she did that interview with them in September. Just like that.
That's interesting.
Very. They said, you said you could not remember a lot of things, correct? She said, yes. They said, but you told the judge your reasons in private. She said, yes. He said, are you being truthful right now? Yes. There was an in front of it.
Oh my God.
He asked her.
Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. He asked if Stogler, something about Stogler in September. She said, I don't know. I'm trying to think. What did he ask her about Stogler, about that? Something about the interview in Stogler. Well, maybe he asked if she spoke about Stogler in September. She said, I don't know. There was talk of you being pressured when you were subpoenaed to go to court. Were they pressuring you to meet with you? They asked when the what did she said no. I think she said no. She went to when she was subpoenaed. That's what she said, that I met with them when I was subpoenaed. Because he was trying to explain to her, a subpoena is to make you go to court, not to go to a meeting. Like, it's not like a subpoena is not what would have made you go to meet with them. That I'm talking. So anyway, this goes on. The defense asked when prosecution started reaching out to her for a statement. She said this year. Now, mind you, this incident happened in 2020. So they asked if Detective Stogler contacted her in 2020 or 2021. She said no. So Detective Stogler is, remember, the initial investigator who was supposed to do an investigation. It was real sloppy and not thorough at all. But she says no, he never contacted her. And he asked her why she agreed to meet with the DA. She said, what do y'all think she said? I don't know. Then she said, I don't remember. I don't know. I don't remember. It was after the defense theory, he's saying, of you being the shooter, correct? And then she said yes after some confusion. So, what he's saying is basically when she started hearing she was now being said, there's the GSR is on her and they're the defense is going to say she did it. That's when she went to the DA. She was scared. He asked her were you truthful in 2022? She said not 100%. Talking about that interview in September. Not 100%, she said. He said,
she keeps admitting she's a liar.
Yeah. Yep. Victoria said, but like she's also playing Tory's side, so maybe she came to the realization they're not going to protect her anymore. Or maybe she's scared and was threatened. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but she's definitely protecting Tory still, in my opinion. So he says, did anyone from the defense pressure you or try to meet with you? She said no. Are you afraid of my client? She said no. Have you talked to him in 2021 or 2022 or his team? Have you talked to him or his team in 2021 or 2022? She said no. Did anyone bribe you? She said no. Did the pressure come from the prosecution? She said yes. Okay. So now she's saying that's where the pressure is from. The prosecution, even though they were saying to her, we didn't threaten you. We didn't threaten to arrest you. Yeah, she magically doesn't remember.
Yeah, because of course the pressure's from the prosecution because they're going to make you come clean. At least as far as she per se could come clean. When she had that interview in September, when she told it all that she's saying she lied about now, that's when she came clean.
Sure. G. Washington said it's the money she took. Yeah, definitely. It does falls into the narrative that she took a bribe and she can't incriminate him. She can't say he did it. Let's see. So next, after that, lunch was called. Okay, so then we get back from lunch.
Guys, how did the jury look through her questioning? How were they looking?
Tired. From what I remember. Oh yeah, so yeah, because lunch was called, but then they were still talking. Because they were like, we were getting up. They were like, well, if you're pressed, you can stay because you can actually listen if you want. Okay, so then so when lunch was called, the prosecution was upset about the line of questioning and said it was unprofessional. He said a few things and he said, and it was unprofessional. The prosecution, let me show you the guy was saying this to the judge about the defense's line of questioning about like, oh, basically now it looks like the pressure is coming from the prosecution, and he didn't like the way that he worded, made them look like they were like some creeps. Okay. And then they said that the judge said that we'll deal with it later and to send him the audio of the interview. Boom. The defense argued back at the prosecution, called him a clown. Okay. He sure did. His face was so red too.
Who called who a clown?
The defense attorney called the prosecution, the guy, a clown right there. And it's not in his face, but it was as he was walking away. But he was standing right there. Like, he was like, clown. Because he was, what do you mean? He was thugging it too. Like, he's a damn thug. I'm just saying.
Wow.
Very
That's
thug.
crazy.
He was like, he is unprofessional. This, that. Like, how dare you type of shit. Like, that was crazy. We were like, ooh, shit. Okay, so we're at lunch. We come back. Okay, we're back from lunch. Kelsey's back on the stand. Cross-examination resumes. So they say September investigator meeting with Kelsey, found out about the defense theory of the event. Said she didn't know where the GSR came from. They asked her about that. Like, why do you have GSR on you? She's like, I don't know. Asked about being taken to the station. She denies remembering the GSR swab. She said she don't even remember being swabbed. They asked her if she believed her interview would be the end of it. And she said, I don't know. Because they were like, well, you claim to say you want to be free. Did you think telling them all that you did in that interview would like basically exonerate you from trial or doing anything further? Like, you would just be done with everything? And first she said, I don't know. And then she said, no, I was ordered back the same day. She said, can't remember where she was interviewed. They asked, like, where were you interviewed? Were you in the DA, what office, what building, this, that? She didn't remember. Asked if she told the prosecution what they wanted to hear. The prosecution objected. Asked her about saying she wanted to free herself. The defense asked if Kelsey was Megan's BFF and assistant. She said yes. I don't remember what she said when he asked her about wanting to free herself. I think he said, you said that you wanted to free yourself. And she said, yeah, I think she agreed to saying it. But then whenever asked, she would say, like, I just want to protect myself, or I don't want to incriminate myself. Or she would say, I don't want to be a part of this. Like, and she did say that too at one point. That might have been when she said it. But she was saying that she didn't want to be a part of this. Who would want to be in the middle of this? She did agree that, yeah, she was her best friend and her assistant. Asked if she knows Tory's label. She said no. Now, I understood he was independent. So what label is he talking about? He supposedly is being distributed by Warner Brothers. I heard him say that in an interview right before trial started. Not right before, maybe a couple months before. He says, do you know about a fallout between Roc Nation and my client? She said no. And that was interesting because I was like, was that public? Did we know that he had a fallout with Roc Nation?
I think there was some rumblings, but is that the first time that Roc Nation's been brought up in the trial?
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting.
So that was an eyebrow raising. The prosecution objected. But she answered no, that she didn't know about any fallout. So now Kylie's house is being brought up. Kylie Jenner asked her about the sequence of events. He asked her about Megan's demeanor after she'd been drinking. Asked about Megan's behavior. She also repeated, as she said yesterday, about her laughing obnoxiously. He asked if she saw Tory flirting with Kylie Jenner, and she said yes. Says that Megan was irritated. And they said upset. She said irritated. She's like, I guess you could correlate the two. So he said, EJ told her to leave. She said, yes. And do you know why she didn't want to leave? She said, no, she didn't tell me. Asked about the luggage and the bags in the SUV. Asked her about packing her belongings. She just kind of agreed, like, yeah. She was like, yes, I did. Yes, that's what we did. Asked her about when they did decide to leave and about removing the bags from EJ's car. Asked if that's when they left in Tory's car the first time. Tory, when they did leave the first time, she said Tory was not in the car with them. Just her, Megan, and Quan. It says that he said, would it be a false statement that you never came back? She said yes. So of course Megan said that in her testimony, that they never went back to the house. So she said yes, it would be a false statement. He said, you left Tory with Kylie.
She be getting them digs in with she won't agree with anything with Megan, you know.
I know. Barely. Yeah. So she seems happy to be able to say something adverse about her, you know.
That is so messed up. There's some bad blood there.
So he said, you left Tory with Kylie in the pool. She said yes. Oh, I know she was hot about that. Now you guys got to remember, Megan is the one that invited Tory. Tory didn't know Kylie. Tory ain't rolling in them circles. Megan invited Tory when she was already there hanging out. She called or texted him or whatever, and he came probably running over there,
trying to hit on Kylie, and Travis would beat the shit out of him.
Right. Well, you know they already had their run-in too, him and Travis.
Right.
So, like, how fucking dare you? What are you doing over here? Why is Kylie entertaining this fool? Like,
yep.
That says a lot about her too. That's embarrassing. Yep. She probably hates the fact that she's mixed up in this shit.
Absolutely. And they have the audacity to say that she may testify. In what world?
Okay. Please. Kris Jenner, she wouldn't even allow that if she was in her grave.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Moesha said them Dollar Tree lawyers whole defense internet conspiracy theory. What? It's funny that she called them Dollar Tree lawyers. Okay. So Kylie, let's see. Yeah, so Tory and Kylie. So Tory done came up. Tory has upgraded at this point in his mind, because you got to understand, Tory is on the come up. He is out here.
That's right.
You know, independent supposedly. Everybody's against him. Well, not at this time. At this time, nobody was. I guess it wasn't. The whole thing hadn't happened yet. So, but he still probably wasn't where he wanted to be and all that. But he probably figured, like, shoot, one picture with Kylie might take me on another level, you know?
Yeah, he felt he had a ride for real up in Kylie's house, and then in the pool hitting on her. Like, come on now. He's kind of like a dog in heat, you know. He already been with Kelsey. He already done been. Megan invited him over there, been with Megan. Now he's trying to hit on Kylie. Like, he just out of control.
And doing that right in front of actually both of them, because he's messing around. So he was messing around with Kylie. Then Kelsey. Then she got COVID, was gone for a couple months. Then him and Megan, so was said to get close during that time and be intimate during that time. But Kelsey at this point didn't know that they had messed around. So now you want to hang out. She calls you and says, come hang out with us. So that's something about her too, to say, well, girl, you knew you was messing around with this man. You knew your friend liked him, or that you even was the one to try to set them up in the first place. First of all.
Right. It is foul.
You want to invite him to come hang out with you, her, and Kylie?
Yeah, it's foul.
Why?
And I heard some young girl today, like I say, she's probably early 20s, and she said, well, you know, that's what they do when you best friends, like, and you all hang together, like, we, you know, they do that. Like, if one have them, we pass them on, like one big happy family. Like, that's how we do. That's what she was saying. I was like, oh my God. I said, I must really be old fashioned because I just cannot.
You mean old? No, I'm just kidding.
All right now. Even though I did just have a birthday shot out, Sagittarius. Yes,
Yes, shout out to all
Sagittarius.
Sagittariuses. Yes. So Ebony Lovely, welcome. She said she wearing the bun to cover up bald spots. That's exactly where that big bald spot is too. Oh, that's horrible. But you know what I was thinking? Like, did she already have a piece? Like, I'm just wondering, maybe she had it. I don't know what they would do. Glue it down? Would it be glued onto, like, if she already had like bald spots and she glued a piece down? Because her hair was like down at that point, loose. So if she had something glued down and he ripped it off, because it did look, I didn't see any, like, I don't know, it looked so clean, like no follicles or like straggles. It was just clean bald. I don't know. Team Sag, Ray Ray. Yeah, because them sisters are easy. They would have got some that night. Okay, they probably would have called Chloe over there. Chloe be pregnant again or trying to have another baby.
Oh Lord, Ray's a Sag.
Yes, Ray J.
Yes,
Team Sag,
Sag in the house. Yes,
November 29th.
All right now, shout out Ray.
Yes, Deshaun said, "I love Sages, Sages, Sages,
Sages, honey. We good people, baby. Yes, thank you.
Okay, all right. Let's get back to court. Let's see. He said, "How long were you gone when they left the first time?" She said, "I don't know." He said, "Long or short?" She said, "Short." Period of time. Went through why she wanted to go back. He asked, like, did you know why she wanted to go back? She's like, I think her slides. She wanted to get her sandals or whatever. And he said, "Was that true?" She said, "I don't know." Then there was an objection. Then he said, this is Kelsey said Megan was upset that Tory stayed behind, which I think that's pretty obvious at this point. And I can buy that story. I get that. And if Megan would have just been honest about that part in the first place, then this probably wouldn't be as messy, because it wouldn't be nothing to be questioning a secret. What's all this secretive stuff? And
exactly.
Nobody wanting to talk and tell the truth. Like, it's so like clouded.
Messy. Yeah. It's messy.
Very messy. Okay. So it said, he asked if Tory wanted Kelsey. I'm sorry. He asked if they wanted Kylie to get closer to Tory. Wait, what? Oh, I'm sorry. No. Asked if Megan wanted Kylie to get closer to Tory, and she said yes. Megan wanted Kelsey to get closer. I was using initials. That's why I'm like confused. Okay. Then he brings up the arguments that happened. And he asked if the argument between the initial argument between Megan and Tory. She said yes. He said at some point, Megan's assistant, you jumped in. And she said, being her friend, clarified him. Told him real quick, like, I wasn't just an assistant. He said, what did my client say? She said that they were having a, what? Caught me off guard. Oh, that they were having a relationship. She said, what did my client say? And she said that they were having a relationship, him and Megan. And he said, how did that make you feel? She said, it caught me off guard. I was upset. He said, angry. She said, correct. He said, you argued with Tory? She said, I believe I did. Did you see her sit at a bus stop after you stopped for the first time? She said, yes. What was she wearing? She said, a bikini. After getting back in the car, he asked some questions about, like, who got out the car and, like, to get her and all that. I think it ended up being her and Tory, or like it was not just Tory. But because he was like, when you guys got back in the car, he also wanted to know the seating. Megan was in the front and Kelsey was behind her and Tory was behind the driver. Okay, so let's see. Then he asked if the arguing continued when they got back in the car. She said yes. And he said, you liked Tory. He said, it was more about her backdooring me. Isn't it the first? He said, is it the first time? She said, no, it was multiple times. I think he said how many times? She said multiple times.
Wow. That's crazy. And the prosecution didn't object?
Nope.
That's crazy.
Then it says primary argument was between you and Megan. Primary argument between you and Megan. Oh, that was the primary argument, was the fact that she backdoored her, in her opinion. She said yes. He said, you said some names. You gave some names. She said, I gave one name. They didn't mention the name. Before it was DaBaby and Ben Simmons, the basketball player. That came out during opening arguments. But after this time, you stopped talking. She said yes. Did you and Megan get into a fight? Be honest. And she went, And then she went and she said, like I said, what? Hold on. Oh, she said, like I said, alcohol. So he asked again, and she said, we probably bumped each other. I don't know.
Well, at least it corroborates that Megan said they didn't fight, because they definitely were trying to allude that, Megan and her were fighting.
Right.
So
well, he's not done with her. He said bumped each other. She said we were under the influence. I don't know. But she could have just said no. See, she's opening it up to that possibility, planting seeds of doubt. That's what she's doing, of that story that Megan told, the things that Megan said, discrediting her, trying to. But a discredited person can't discredit a person, in my opinion. Let's see. He said there was yelling and screaming. She said, yes, we were all yelling at each other. He said, were you all still arguing as you're exiting the vehicle? She said, no, we got out at the same time. And he said, you were still upset. She said, confused. He said, upset and angry. And she said, of course. All you remember is bumping each other? She said, yes. Was there a little more than bumping and yelling? She said, I don't remember. That's when the prosecution finally objects. And he said, how close were you? She said, very close. He said, like sisters? Yes. He said, you spent all your time together, minus the COVID period? She said, yes. Says that she felt betrayed. Asked if she heard dance bitch. So this finally comes up. She laughed. I don't know where that came from. That's what she said.
that was a major dig there she got in.
Mm-hmm.
That was a major dig at Megan. See, that's that underlying bubbling up, that, how deep this is with her and Megan,
Mm-hmm. And then he asked about when they got out of the car, when they bumped each other. He said, were you at the front or the back of the car? I mean, this guy is like, whoo, details. She said there was a, let's see. She said she didn't remember, of course. Said there was a point when they walked to the back of the car. Okay. There was a point where they walked to the back of the car. Megan in front. Oh, so when they get back in the car, he's describing the seating. Says Megan was in front, you're in the back. She said, yes. He said, then he goes back to the bump. Was it a chest bump and you walked away? She said, it wasn't a chest bump. And she kind of
He's
laughed.
a good attorney. He's trying to trip her up. He's good.
Yeah. And she kind of laughed. She said, it wasn't a chest bump. And she kind of laughed a little. He said, then he goes, you went with Jilly, and that's Megan's manager, to the hospital. And she said, yeah, she was going to see Megan. Have you seen Megan since that day? She said, no. Said that the next time they spoke was about her living arrangements. Did you tell the prosecution that they what they wanted to hear, so you would be done with the case. She said that point she asked to speak with her lawyer. The judge said, just answer the question. Says she told them what she wanted to tell them. She wanted to be out of it. And he said, you lied about who the shooter was. And there was silence. And then he said, I'm done. The defense, he was like, I'm done. And then the judge said, let her answer. And she said, I didn't see, I heard. So then there was a sidebar with the attorneys. Kelsey called her lawyer up. Like when sidebar was going on, she looked at her lawyer like, can you come here? And she looked at him like, motherfucker, you don't get over here. Because she had already asked to speak to him, remember? And the judge was
right.
like, no.
Get your little old ass up here.
He was probably asleep, drooling at the mouth.
Tory, Tory didn't give you this bag to defend me. Get your little old ass up here.
Exactly. And then her husband, or guess that, well, he didn't have a ring on his finger, because I was like, y'all got rings? No, he got that chain though. But anyway, the lawyer was sitting the dude that she was with was sitting right next to the lawyers. I think he bumped him, like showed him that she wanted to see him. So he got up and went over there. And then, it says that Kelsey called her lawyer up. So they talked in the hallway. So when everyone returned, they resumed. Prosecution came back for a redirect and presented a text message from Kelsey to Justin. And this is the text message that happened right after the shooting. Help, Tory shot Meg, 911. Why did you say Tory shot Meg? She said, I panicked. And then she kind of said, assumptions. She said that yesterday too.
If she doesn't look like a bald-faced liar in front of this jury, you can't remember, you heard it, you heard the shots, but you don't know who else shot him. Who else is left to shoot? And then you got the text right there. She just looks horrible.
So they go on, 4 people in the car? She said yes. She said, Megan, you've come to discover Megan was shot, right? She said, I was told it was glass. She said, Megan didn't shoot herself. She said, I don't know. She said, I don't know. She said, did you see her with the gun? She said, no. She said, Quan didn't have a gun? She said, no. You didn't shoot Meg? She said, no. So who's left? There was an objection and she was asked to rephrase. So she said, is that why you assumed Tory shot Meg? And she said, yes. Finally got a yes out of her.
So when the prosecutor on redirect finally says, so is that why you assumed Tory shot Meg? That's when she finally got the yes after all that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's a second text they put up, a text of her, of picture of the injury of hers. And then they showed the other injury text. That says injury text shown on the screen. Kelsey says to someone, it's supposed to be between Megan and Kelsey, this text exchange. Kelsey said, and I wrote it down because I was like, ooh, this is juicy. But the text message said, Kelsey said, he texted me. And Megan said, call me. That's what it said. And then Kelsey said, he texted me again from his other phone. And then Megan said, well, I'm not going to say Megan said because she denied it was Megan. So after this got put up there. So who
was it supposed to be if it wasn't Megan?
I don't know. I'll just say Kelsey, and who the prosecution is saying is Meg's. Okay.
Right. I'm sure they got the number, like they certified that cell phone number. Like, come on. So they'll probably have a cell phone expert at some point.
They should. So Kelsey texted. He said, texted me again from his other phone. And then Megan, who they're saying is Megan, said, unreal, this guy, don't respond. And then Kelsey said, should I get a scan? Should I get something at urgent care? What is that word? A scan? Maybe it's a scan. Should I get a scan at urgent care? Kelsey said she doesn't think that's between. Oh, then she was like, I don't think that's not between me and Megan. They asked her, do you remember contemplating going to urgent care? And she asked about the injuries she claimed to have in the text. And she said, I don't remember. Because that's the one where she said she had like a heart murmur and she didn't know if it was being triggered. She had pain,
Right.
pain,
Mm-hmm.
headache. I don't know. My head is hurting. I don't know if it's when he dragged me out the car. She said, I don't remember. They showed her a paper with a statement she made. And she said, do you remember Detective Stogler calling and you hanging up the phone? So now they're trying to show that they were trying to reach her, because remember the defense was like, dang, did they ever even call you? Did they ever like even ask you any questions? That they and so now the prosecution is like, yeah, we tried to call. Do you remember when you hung up on him? And she said no.
Oh, that's good. That was good.
Yeah, they asked about a lawyer named Dominique Calhoun. She said, he's not my retained lawyer. They said, do we have to bring these people? She said, do we have to bring these people up? This is what Kelsey asked. So we need to look up Dominique Calhoun. He might be a Rock Nation lawyer. She's like, do we have to bring these people up? So the judge asked the prosecution. He was like, yeah, where is this going? And they said, prosecution said, we reached out. She said, we reached out to a lawyer last year. And she said, yeah. She said, you weren't ready to speak with us, right? She said, yes. She said, you were aware of the DA's involvement because you were talking to your lawyers. We were talking to your lawyers. She said, yes. So they have been talking to her lawyers all along. And she is acting like when the defense was asking her about the prosecution, reaching out in the Stogler and them, she didn't say anything. Well, yeah, they were trying to, or yeah, they were talking to my lawyers. Like she didn't say any of that. So now they're straightening it out. They're getting a straightening. Okay. Let's see. It says, but we didn't speak. Okay. So, the DAs, they were like, so we didn't speak until September of 20. She said, yes, of 2020. Confirmed. So, the incident happened July of 2020. So she's saying we didn't speak till September 2020, right? She said, yes. And then confirmed that the prosecution didn't threaten her. Said you were ordered to trial at a future date, right? She said, yes. When we met again, you said you felt pressure. She said, yes, before the meeting. She said, there were people at my door saying I'm going to jail. She said, you didn't threaten me, but I felt pressure. And they said, when did you learn about the gunshot residue, the GSR? She said, I don't know. And they said, the idea that you shot Meg was, you say, ridiculous. She said, yes. So then they run down how she's continued to be accused of different things, being bribed and all of that stuff. And then they bring up her IG post, and she confirmed that she's been consistent about not shooting Meg. The use immunity was explained to her again. No prosecution if you tell the truth. Did you shoot Megan? She said, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. So now defense is back up for a recross. And they say, if you're not truthful, are you aware you can be charged with perjury? She said, yes. They asked if she decided to speak to prosecutors when she learned there was so he asked her if she decided to speak to prosecutors when she learned there was a witness. She said, I went after I was subpoenaed. And he said, do you remember when you were asked if Tory ordered you out of the car calling you bitches and hoes? She said, I don't remember. It's a lot going on. The defense recites Kelsey's lyrics from her diss track. She said, I responded to her diss track.
They went in, didn't they, on this recross?
Oh, yeah. He had them lyrics. He said the lyrics. I didn't write them, obviously, but yeah. I was like, oh, them lyrics. Because somebody earlier played me, because I was like, I don't remember Megan's shots fired. I mean, I don't remember listening to the lyrics, but she was like, you gotta listen to that. Okay. So yeah, they bring up the diss tracks, and it says, she's like, I'm sure you're aware of how rap goes, or something like that. Oh, how rap lyrics go. She said, I'm sure you're aware of how rap lyrics go. He said nothing further. So then there's our final break. The witness is excused, but subject to recall. Kelsey leaves. This is after the break. The jurors come in. Next witness is called and sworn in. It's Detective Warren Eberhart, detective supervisor with the LAPD Hollywood, asked about social media being used as an investigative tool. This is the prosecution asking him about his work as an investigator on using social media. He works in like a robbery division or something like that. You know how all those be flashing they swag on Instagram and whatnot, and they always get caught because this is one of the guys behind the investigation. So they asked him if he was using it as an investigation tool in this case, and he said yes. They bring up a Shade Room post, child. Shade Room enters the chat is what I put in my notes. It was an Instagram post, and the Instagram post was of, at some point I think I wrote the person's at down, but said an Instagram post from December of 2020 was brought to his attention. Must be her attention. Was brought to his attention. Oh, brought to the detective's attention, and asked if it was still live when he viewed it. He said, yes, I believe so. One second. Oh, okay. I wrote down the person's name because what they were pointing out, it wasn't the actual Shade Room post. It was the comment. It was a comment under the post. And I wrote the person's IG address down so I could look it up later because I want to know who this person is that's ending up in a courtroom with their comment under a Shade Room post. But the comment said, in quote, people are saying Tory shot her. I mean, you know what? I think it said Kelsey. I don't know why I wrote Tory because I think the actual comment said people are saying Kelsey shot her. And there was a reply by Tory Lanez and said, that's not true.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Let me fix that because I don't like that. But I knew that it was Kelsey's name in that comment. Because that's what they were doing, trying to, spin that narrative. Yeah. People are saying Kelsey shot her. He got in there and said, that's not true. So then the detective clicked on the link, he said, that took him to Tory's IG page. They had the page up on the screen. Described the blue check mark, and it's the fact that it means that they have that Instagram has verified it as a public figure or brand. And for the blue check mark, they do, you provide your ID, like it's really a real way to confirm that that's actual person. Let's see. So they asked how many followers. They said 11.8 million, which I was like, damn, Tory. But you think some of these are bot followers? I don't know. So then they looked at some of the pics. Looked at pics. It says looked at pics. Okay. So then there's the cross exam. I think they ended there. The cross exam, and he asked, "How long have you been a detective?" He said, "Since 2008." He said he's a field officer. He asked him. He said, "So you've been a field officer? You've been in training," and listed all these different things that he's done in his career. He asked. He said, "So where's your report?" He said, "I didn't create a report." He said, "You assisted the primary investigator Stogler on the case, right?" And I think he agreed. He said he asked if public figures have others who run their IG, Instagram. He said yes, he's aware of that. So here, so you see where they're going. So here's the prosecution comes back.
Yeah, they're trying to muddy up the investigation. That's why they want to bring in the initial detective that's on leave. They want to show that, it was botched. Like, regardless of if there, it wasn't. I guess what I'm saying is the bottom line is for those charges, if they meet each one of the objectives of that charge, like did they prove that he shot her? These are the things. Muddying up the waters, having Kelsey go on and prove that she's a proven liar, all that isn't going to matter in the end with the jury when they decide what they're going to believe or not believe.
Right. So Queen is here. Hey, Queen. She's asking if it's true about, I'm getting to that. I'm going through the trial today. So I'm going in order of how things occurred. Okay. I know y'all already heard a lot of this stuff and probably maybe all of this stuff, but maybe in a different way, type of commentary. I don't know, but we're getting there. We're almost there. Okay. So mind you, we've already had our last break of the day. Remember? So let's see. So he doesn't have a report. The defense basically makes a point to say, well, public figures have other people who run their Instagram, right? They're like, yes. So then the prosecution redirects. What would you say the post is about? The objection is called for a speculation. Confirms the account is verified, a verified Tory Lanez account. Did questions his purpose of being there. The defense comes back and questions his purpose for being there. Why are you here? Like, you don't even have a report. He says he was subpoenaed. He asked him if he knew about what a spoof account was. He said yes, a fake account. He said he confirmed the verified account. The prosecution comes back and says he asked about the post the defendant brought up. Oh yeah, the defense brought up a post, right? And it looked like it was supposed to be under this post, a different comment. It looked weird. It didn't look authentic to me. And mind you, it hadn't been vetted. So, but the post was somebody saying, y'all just believe everything I run, basically saying this person runs that account and you guys just believe anything. It was some other Instagram account. I'm trying to see, did I write that one down too? I think I did on a different page. Oh, I know what. I just missed a whole thing because I wrote it on the back of another paper. I'm missing some stuff. I just realized. Okay, so now let me go back. So I'm going to go back up to where he asked if public figures have others who run their account. He said yes. Okay, so then they bring up a post from at Mid Jordan. In the post, it says from on the Shade Room caption, it says that the post is from Meg's producer alleging authorities matched the fragments to the gun. And that's where somebody underneath that said that I heard Kelsey, that Kelsey shot him. And he said that's not true underneath that. So, but the defense puts up a post from somebody saying, it says, defense asked if detectives saw posts noting that Lanez doesn't run his account. He said, I didn't know that. He said, do you know who controls Tory's account? He said, no, I didn't know. I didn't look into it. Didn't think it was relevant. He said, well, how long have you been a detective? He said, 14 years. He's like, you trying to get to the bottom? He's like, you try to get to the bottom of things, right? He's like, yes. Well, isn't it a part of your determination to find out whose post it is? He said, I didn't think it was relevant.
They can go pull up all Tory's lives because he always was on damn live and show that his PR might, yeah, they do have people run a PR department, do run their social media accounts, but Tory definitely likes to use his social media. They can discount that.
Mm-hmm. But what they're saying is, like, even if he's doing some of those things, somebody else who supposedly runs the account could be posting comments and stuff, which that ain't true. That was Tory that said that, because he can't help himself. He's very reactive, like from what, like, I know him, right? But I'm just saying, like, based on what we've seen from him, people can give you an idea of who they are by like a collection of behaviors, of experiences that we've seen them go through. You know, I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So then the defense asked him about IP accounts. Are you, like he said he didn't investigate the IP, not relevant to his, to his task, the task that he was given. They didn't ask him to do that. The defense questions about his reason for being there today and asked if he was neutral. He said yes. And he said he's not, he said, and I guess they asked him, are you trying to help Detective Stogler? He said he's not helping him. I'm not helping Detective Stogler. Then they asked him where was his report. I think, no, I think they asked that already. Okay. Yeah, actually, yeah. They asked him where his report is. He didn't have a report. This defense attorney really likes reports because that comes up like with everybody. Where's your report? Okay, so then the prosecution redirects, and I think I already said that. That's about like asked about, what would he say that post is about? Blah blah blah. So let's keep going. Person running the account said, okay, yeah. So he said he had no knowledge of the person who is running the account. If it's Tory, if it's not Tory, he didn't know. So then he was excused. So that was his testimony. And I don't know how that went. I don't know. That seemed to be kind of like, was it worth it? I think it kind of was, because that comment from the shade room is going to be a part of the evidence that the jury looks at, and it's going to be a piece of puzzle.
Yeah, it's worth it just for that comment. Did he score a few points trying to discredit this expert that maybe was saying he wasn't prepared, this or that? That's his job. That's what he's paid to do. In the long run, the main thing was that text got out, and that's what was important. I agree.
Okay. Yes. Let's see. Oh, is it Devlon Anthony? Okay, Devlon, you made a live, huh? He be in the comments like, Megan's a liar. And Tory didn't do it. Okay. You said Tory also said he didn't do it. Okay, of course he did. Sharita said a ghost did it. Let me put that on the screen. That's funny. Let's see, Devlon. Meg has told us damn near 10 different stories, has changed it again when she took the stand. We have no idea what happened that night. Well, that's the point of this trial, and it's not over yet. It's not over yet. And they're having, I would say her testimony might have been 10 different stories, but prior to her actual testimony, it was only one change in her story. And that was about the glass that she admitted. Oh, well, then, of course, then being intimate with Tory, that was another one. But who blames her for that? I don't blame her for either one of those untruths. Okay. Both were necessary. Okay, let's see. Next witness. This is the last witness of the day. Her name is Stacy Vandershoff, and she is a criminalist for the city of Los Angeles, LAPD, of 15 years. Oh, well, she's been with them for like 4 years, I think, but this is what she's been doing. It's like chemistry, biology. Like, she's the one who examines fingerprints, footprints, particles, all the little small stuff that, gets people locked up for life. Queen said the driver did it. No, they didn't find GSR on the driver. So they basically counted him out. I heard that they can't find the driver. That's what I've heard. And I hope that's not true, because they haven't really said anything else. Like, I would have think he would have come to testify already, or at least right after Kelsey. But he has the forensics lady. Let's see. So she's someone who uses science to examine criminal evidence to determine what it would indicate: DNA, firearms, gunshot residue. She's considered a trace analyst. She says she analyzes the smallest parts of evidence, like I said, tire treads, prints, etc. She explained her background, her education, very much educated, very smart woman. So they were talking about like the gunshot residue, and I believe he asked her like, how far can it travel? She said 18 feet from the point of origin. I think she said max, 18 feet max from the point of origin, in all directions, 360 degrees. It's not gonna. It doesn't stay in one trajectory, you know, in one lane. If it just goes all over, all around. She said there are a lot of factors involved depending on where it goes. You know, it could be the environment, the course, the air, the wind, the weather, if it's outside. It could be, it's just a lot of things. She listed a lot of things. I just put lots of things, lots of factors. She said particles can transfer from hand to hand, and that she is the one that handled the gunshot residue from the kit and she explained the process. Handled and analyzed, I said here. Now the process is, honey, you got to go to you got to be a chemistry major to have understood what she was talking about. She was talking to the jury. I know they were like, okay. I was like, let me put my pencil down because I'm not even going to attempt. But she explained what the process is. She confirmed Tory testing positive for gunshot residue as well as Kelsey. She addressed whether a person can have it after being in close proximity or contact with a person who shot a gun. And obviously, because she just said, that it travels how far it travels and all that. Because she said it's a circumference. It's like, it's not a straight line. So the cross-examination, defense is up. They asked her who has more particles, by the way. They asked Tory or Kelsey. She said, can I check my notes? I was like, oh, shit, we about to find out who has more gun residue. That might tell us something. Because she did say at one point, it wasn't 100% that just because someone has more than another, that they are the one who mainly handled the weapon. But she said it is a very probable likability, very much a probability. So when he asked her that, I think everybody was like, finally, we get something concrete to, because it's probably going to show he has most of it. So he told her, yeah, you can check your notes. But he only gave her 2 seconds to check her notes because he then interrupts her with another question. Well, wait, can you tell who was where by the gunshot residue? She said no. And he asked her, he said, he gave her a hypothetical, like if Tory was grabbing the gun from Kelsey's hand with the gun, she said both parties would have it. You see, the hypothetical he gave was Tory grabbing the gun from Kelsey, and of course the jury is hearing this, right?
Yeah, he's trying to plant the seeds of doubt.
Absolutely. So yeah, both parties, she said both parties, right? So then there's a redirect. The prosecution's back up. They said they forgot to ask her for the results of Quan, the driver's results. She said there was no GSR detected. They said, do you analyze GSR? Something of GSR found. You analyze witnesses. Witness? I don't know. Oh, do you analyze the amount? Okay. Do you analyze the amount of GSR that's found? She said yes. And that's when I thought, okay, well, maybe the prosecution will say, well, can you tell us who had more of the GSR on them? But they didn't. They said, do you always have a property report when you examine GSR? And she said, not always. So then the cross-examination, the defense comes back up and asked about placards. I don't know if you remember, there was a whole questioning about the placards when the officers were talking about how they had a picture of these.
Right. They had to use a different type of paper instead of that, like big whooping deal.
Yeah, because his whole thing is, well, the placards have numbers and they are supposed to tell us the direction of the blood spatter. And, so he brings up the placards to her. She's the analyst for the gunshot residue. But anyway, he says he asked her about the placards and asked, she said that the placards are not associated with evidence, the evidence item number, and that there's also a picture ID number. So there's different numbers. So the placards aren't relevant for that. Do you have placards that match numbers on photos? She said, I didn't review photos, and asked her about placards showing a trail of blood. She said, he asked her, do you know about like blood spatter and placards? And she said, well, I did used to do that work. And then that's when they asked her, well, they use the placards to track the blood and how it splatters. She said, in some cases, it depends on the crime scene. And then they asked about a property report. She said, if there was one, she didn't make a copy. And that was it. They dismissed the jury. The judge said they will allow Kelsey's recorded interview to be played tomorrow.
That's the win. Yes. That's the win.
Mm-hmm. So then they asked the judge asked the prosecution, do you have all your witnesses lined up for tomorrow? He said yes. And I heard him say Justin, because the prosecution thought he said something like, well, who's up first or something. I saw him. But nevertheless, I'm not going to say that, because Justin, it wouldn't really make sense for Justin wasn't even there. He was the bodyguard who Kelsey texted Tory shot Meg, help 911 or whatever. So with all that said, definitely big deal so Queen, there's your answer. Yes, the interview is definitely going to be played tomorrow. The recording of the interview. I can't wait. I'm going to make sure I am there bright and early so I get my spot, because that is going to be very interesting. Did they play the jail call? A couple of times. Yes, they have. That's for Ebony. Okay, so that's it, y'all, for court. That's it.
That's a huge win for the prosecution playing that audio, because I wasn't sure what the judge was going to do it. I'm so happy. So I know you're going to take all the notes, because we can't wait for tomorrow night to hear about that.
She said Harvey Birdman sure don't want us to know who had more GSR on him. Harvey Birdman? Who is that? But yeah, whoever, they know. It seemed like the prosecution should have, because for the prosecution, either one wouldn't have really made a difference. But if it was Kelsey, it would have definitely looked bad. You know what I'm saying? It could have actually made a difference, because I was thinking what a difference it would have made. But yeah, if they're trying to focus on Kelsey, and then it comes back focus on Tory being the shooter, and the GSR ends up being more on Kelsey, that kind of does present a problem. So I could see why they didn't open that up, even though I really want to know. And what exactly was they doing to Tory? He was just sitting there. Tory, they barely speak to Tory. I'm telling you, and the attorneys, they have their backs turned to him when they're talking and discussing things. It's just like, he did ask him once when he passed him, like, you okay? He was like, yeah. But he's very animated. Tory, he's making faces throughout the testimony, looking shocked, looking like he's shaking his head like in disbelief, or looking like, seriously, those type of looks. He's doing all that.
Real animated, huh? In disbelief. He wants the jurors to catch him doing that, like he's in shock. Mm-hmm.
Guess what? From where they're at and where he's at, they could barely see him. I don't even know why.
Really?
The courtroom is set up really weird. Yeah, remember I was telling you he's to the very right of the courtroom, and everything else is to the left. The jury's way on the left side. The press.
Oh wow!
Like the whole audience is like kind of slanted. His people are right behind him on that side, but imagine church pews like that,
right?
And there's an aisle in between, and like when people get married, it's the bride on one side and the groom's people on the other. Tory's people on the right side facing the judge, and everybody else is on the left, and then the jury's way to the left, and it's just weird how it's set up. But he looks like he's not even, like I was saying before, how R. Kelly, if y'all, most of y'all know we're following R. Kelly with me, the R. Kelly trials, and remember how Bone Cockroach was rubbing his back and
Oh my God, yes.
They were whispering and talking to each other the whole
Right.
time. Like, this is nothing like that. Like, it's like they don't even they want him to look as invisible as possible. Like, but not that he
Wow.
can, because he comes in these well, today a bright suit. Today was a bright
Yep.
big,
Yeah.
it was a very deep burgundy, but it was a bright, but it was, like I said, he dresses nice. I mean, he's gonna show up looking smooth, child,
Right.
with nothing else.
Guys, did you get that picture of Kelsey and the husband? The one? Were you able to get it?
Wait, let me see what this is. I just took a couple of screenshots of a couple of those. Which one is this? Oh, this is that one that says, here's a video of the 1501 CEO Carl Crawford hanging out with Tory Lanez himself earlier this year. And coincidentally, he manages to hashtag protect black women. Oh, black men. Protect black men. Subliminals taken at Meg because they are really trying to take her out. And underneath that, I think this one is that. Yeah, here's the reason why Kelsey is throwing this trial. She's currently engaged in mothering the child of 1501 label certified executive. Yes, the same label that is actively in a lawsuit against Megan Thee Stallion. Sad how they're trying to sabotage this woman's career. Somebody send this to the prosecutors.
Kelsey looked kind of thick on there too. She's short too, huh?
Yeah, she's not that tall. She's very curvy. I mean, she has, small waist, big butt, big boobs, pretty face. Pretty in the face, small in the waist, all of that. Pretty. And yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so, that right there to me is a whole nother layer of problematic issues with her being married, to the exec, and knowing that they're in this huge dispute with Megan, that record company. Yeah, that just stinks.
Passion said, welcome, Passion. They're all in cahoots. BM, so embarrassing. Are you talking about black men, Miss Rob? So embarrassing. Oh, you mean like the hashtag? Yeah. Oh, they're taunting her is what they were doing. G. Washington, you see how that ended? You get away with it at the time, but it comes back to haunt you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If R. Kelly vibes all day, paying people to disappear, no testify. Yeah. I get that too. This is crazy. But tomorrow is the final day for this week. So more witnesses. It's gonna, and that recorded call. That's why I'm showing up. So
yeah.
I unfortunately probably won't be able to transcribe the recorded call, but I'm gonna give y'all the highlights for sure.
Right.
I don't know how it's gonna go, like how fast if they're just gonna play it through or they're gonna pause. I'll get as much as I can. I promise you that. Any other things before we go?
Just appreciate your time, Goddess. Really appreciate, you going down there, giving us the real view of what's going on. All the notes and everything. I feel like I'm in the courtroom with the child.
Well, that's how we do it. This is our third trial that we've done together.
Yep. Yeah.
So I appreciate y'all as well. And yeah, of course, I'm doing this, for y'all. Plus, this is what I like to do. I love to do this. So somehow I need to figure out how I can do this and make this my main thing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But in the meantime and in between time, your girl is tired.
Yeah.
I need a shower.
Yep. Get you some good rest.
All of that. And I will definitely be back tomorrow. What's going on, Marcus? Yes. You're welcome, just here. Thank you for being here, everybody. I appreciate y'all coming in. I see I have more people here, and I'm going to shout out Conscious TV because I know he's the culprit. He is the blessing, I'll say, not the culprit. But I want to thank him. He's been real good to me, letting me come on his platform. I know he's appreciating what I'm bringing, but I'm also appreciating him just as much because he is, like I said yesterday, about 3 times of a bigger channel than mine. I am, not averse to growing. So I appreciate all the love. And on that note, I'm out. Till tomorrow, y'all. Bye.
Bye. Peace, warriors.
Peace.